Hi everyone, Andy here with Mainly Manly Stuff. Today we have another long video ahead of us as I'm going to compare 5 of the best active noise cancelling true wireless earbuds currently available on the market. There are older ones and brand new ones in the lineup as well, but they all have one thing in common, namely the fact that they all have made a very good impression and performed exceptionally well whenever I tested them during the last couple of months. So without further ado, let the showdown begin. Let's quickly go through the basics of each earbud. First, there is the Apple AirPods Pro, which has been on the market for a while now, but still going strong. In terms of design, these are the only buds with a stem in today's test. The Pros weigh in at 5.4 grams each, which makes them the most lightweight of the bunch. They come with 3 silicone ear tips and they are comfortable to wear for even longer periods of time. However, it cannot be longer than 4.5 hours with noise cancelling on, because that's how long the batteries will last before you have to put them back in the case to charge them. Switching ANC off adds an extra half an hour to that, and in total you will have 24 hours of battery life with the case. A 5 minutes quick charging will give you 60 minutes of playtime. The AirPods Pro is the only one which does not have a USB-C port on the case, but instead Apple put their good old Lightning port there. But that's no big deal, especially that the case can be charged wirelessly with any Qi certified charging pad. The battery performance might not be the best, but these buds are very compact and lightweight, and the battery case is the smallest of them all too. It can easily slip in any pocket, a trick that none of the others can do. Or maybe some of them can, but the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds is certainly not one of them. The latest and greatest from Bose are also the biggest buds in the biggest case. That's no problem, you might say, the battery will probably last forever then. Well, I wish that was the case, but with 18 hours of total battery life, the Bose is actually at the bottom of the list with the others well above 20 hours each. The buds themselves will run for about 6 hours with one charge, and you can get 2 hours of use after 15 minutes of quick charging inside the case, which by the way is compatible with any Qi certified wireless charging pad, so that somewhat compensates for the mediocre total runtime. As I said, the buds are large and they weigh 8.5 grams each, and even though you can get 3 pairs of soft oval-shaped silicone tips with integrated fins, comfort is not the best in the long run because due to its weight and size, it puts extra pressure on my ear canals. Next is the Jabra Elite 85T, which is also a brand new release with loads of great upgrades. With the newly added ANC feature comes a bigger weight and size, but it's still small enough and it only weighs 5.5 grams each. The earbuds are really comfortable to wear, and if you choose the right size tips from the 3 oval-shaped silicone tips that come in the box, you will get a good fit too. You can either get 5.5 hours of use out of the buds with ANC turned on, or 7 hours with noise cancelling off. The total battery life is 25 hours or 31 hours accordingly. 15 minutes of quick charge gives you 60 minutes of use, and the case can be charged wirelessly with any Qi certified charging pad. That's not too bad, especially with the size of the case in mind, which is the second smallest after the AirPods Pro. Moving on, let's see the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2 earbuds. They are very similar to the Jabra 85Ts in both size and aesthetics, but the Momentums look a bit more polished to me. I don't know if that matters at all, but these buds look the best in my opinion. They weigh 6 grams each and I find them very comfortable to use for hours on end. Their fit is tight with a good seal, and there are 4 different sized silicone ear tips in the box. Sennheiser claims that the buds will run for 7 hours with one charge and the total battery life is 28 hours. 10 minutes of quick charging gives you 1.5 hours playtime. There is a USB-C port but no wireless charging support. The case is my personal favorite with its elegant textured fabric cover. It's mid-sized, not really pocketable, but it looks sleek. The Sennheiser is the most expensive of all these buds, but it's a clear winner in the design and comfort department. And last but not least, there is the Sony WF-1000X Mark III. This whole active noise cancelling earbuds business really took off with these Sonys last year. And almost 1.5 years later, they are still very competitive. With one exception, their actual size and weight. 8.5 grams might be too much for some, and when it comes to long-term comfort, the 1000X Mark IIIs don't perform that well either. Thankfully, there are 4 pairs of silicone and 3 pairs of foam tips in the box, so at least you can find the best fit possible, and the seal is good too. Another good news is that in this case, the bigger size comes with a better battery life. The Sony buds will last 6 hours on their own with ANC on, and it can go up to 8 hours if you don't need the noise cancelling. The case can charge the buds fully 3 times, so that brings the total battery life to 24 or 32 hours. That's a much better size/battery life ratio than what the Bose buds can deliver. We have quick charging as well, so 10 minutes in the case can give you 90 minutes of use, but unfortunately there is no support for wireless charging. All earbuds are IPX4 rated except for the Sonys, which have no official IP rating at all, which means that they are not really supposed to be used for exercise. Not that I would use any of the others for anything else than a light yoga or a home workout, because they were simply not designed for exercise, but I leave it up to your own judgment. And now let's see what we get as far as connection goes. The 2 oldest models, the Sony and the AirPods Pro, use Bluetooth 5.0, but the other 3 have Bluetooth 5.1 on board. Connecting and pairing presented no problems with any of the buds, and watching videos was free of lag issues too. However, there are some major differences we have to talk about. First, there is the independent use, which makes it possible to use either the left or the right bud on its own, while the other one is being charged in the case. Surprisingly enough, only the 1000X Mark III and the Apple AirPods Pro is capable of doing it. The other 3 simply fail to deliver on that front. And there is multi-point use, which is a feature you will need if you want to connect your earbuds to more than one device at the same time. Believe it or not, the Jabra Elite 85T is the only one which can connect to your laptop and your phone simultaneously, so it will switch between the two if, let's say, a call comes in. The AirPods Pro can do the same, but only with Apple devices, thanks to its auto switch function, and it works quite well, but again, it's limited to Apple devices only. The Jabra is not that picky. It worked between my MacBook Pro and my Sony Xperia 5 Mark II smoothly. When it comes to codecs, all 5 earbuds support AAC and SBC of course, but only the Sennheiser Momentums have aptX. Given the fact that these are high-end earphones, it's quite disappointing. Phone calls are generally good in terms of quality. Noise cancelling is surprisingly weak on the Sonys during phone calls, but it's very effective on the other 4. The AirPods Pro delivers very natural sounding and clear voices. The Bose has maybe the lowest level of noise, but voices doesn't sound as natural anymore. The Bose app also offers you the self-voice feature, which allows you to hear yourself during phone calls. The Jabra and the Sennheiser also have this feature, but it's called side tone in their case. With the Momentums, you only get a simple on-off switch, but with the Jabras, you have different levels of side tone to choose from. And on top of that, you can also EQ your phone calls by adding more treble or bass to the voices in the Jabra app. Besides this feature, both the Jabra and the Sennheiser were very good at filtering out noises, and voice transmission was clear too. So I don't think I can pick a definite winner here, but I would probably choose either the AirPods or the Jabras if I had to. Moving on to controls, the earbuds couldn't be more diverse. The Jabra Elite 85T is the only one with actual physical buttons, all of the others use touch capacitive interfaces. The AirPods Pros have these fake clickable buttons on the stems. You have to squeeze them if you want to control play, pause, tracks, Siri and the different noise cancelling modes. There are no volume controls and no custom options either. In iOS, you can access settings and set up a few basic things such as autoplay pause, which uses the proximity sensors in the earbuds to pause music when you take one of the buds out and resume playback when you put them back in. Now, this feature doesn't work on Android at all. All other earbuds have the same autoplay pause feature as well, and they all work properly with both Android and iOS. My least favorite is the Bose QC earbuds as far as controls and customization go. On the right earbud you can control play, pause, phone calls and the voice assistant. On the left you can enable the shortcut function if you want to skip tracks forward, and you have 3 noise cancelling presets to toggle between. No volume controls and no customization whatsoever. I heard about a possible software update that will fix some of these issues sometime in the future maybe, but as of now it's simply not good enough. Sony is quite a bit better in terms of the functionality of its touch controls. You can have everything: play, pause, track, phone calls, voice assistant, volume and ambient sound mode controls, but you cannot have all of these functions at the same time. You have to choose between ambient modes and volume controls, as the software will not allow you to use both together. These kinds of limitations don't make much sense, as both Sennheiser and Jabra managed to cram their earbuds with functions, and they will let you use them all simultaneously as well. Again, play, pause, track, phone call, voice assistant, noise cancelling and volume controls are available on both the Momentum and the Elite 85T. And they are fully customizable too, no limitations there. Their apps are also great with custom EQ, side tone and auto play pause switch. The Sony Headphones app has great features too, such as the adaptive ambient sound modes and the fully customizable ANC and EQ functions, but again, those limitations on the controls put them lower in the rankings. The Jabra offers some unique features such as Find My Jabra, which could help locate your buds, and the so-called moments, which are basically EQ and ANC presets, which you can access quickly in different scenarios. The Sennheiser app has a bit less features, but the physical controls on the Jabra are not as comfortable to use as the touch buttons on the Momentums, so it's hard to pick a winner again, and I was more than happy with using both of them. But if you wear hats a lot, then the Jabra wins easily because that's the easiest to use, but maybe that's not a deciding factor for the most of us. But what can be a deciding factor is the active noise cancelling. I conducted a few non-scientific tests to see how each of the buds perform in traffic, on a very noisy indoor bike trainer, and in a simulated office environment. Please keep in mind that the fit of the earbuds can make or break their noise isolation capabilities, which also has a huge effect on active noise cancelling. So this is my own personal experience only, and your mileage might vary. But if I have to rank them, that would look like the following. The AirPods Pro and the Momentum 2 are at the bottom of the list. The Apple Buds filter out all the rumbling noise around you better, but the Sennheisers cancel out high-pitched noises more effectively. Then come the Jabra and the Sony hand in hand. The Sony has a slight advantage at filtering out high frequencies maybe, but they are both good at getting rid of low-frequency noises. What could put the Jabras in front of the Sonys is their noise cancelling performance during phone calls, so if that's something that matters to you, then you are better off with the Elite 85Ts. But the clear winner here would be the Bose QC earbuds. It delivers an impressive performance across the whole frequency range when it comes to noise cancelling. But the one thing I don't like about the Bose is the fact that you cannot switch off ANC completely, but you can only toggle between hear through and noise cancelling modes. There is a slight hiss you can hear with every active noise cancelling headphone, especially in quiet environments such as your own bedroom at home. Now, that would only make sense to be able to switch off noise cancelling when you are in a quiet room, wouldn't it? That's what you cannot do with the Bose, while all the others have an off switch on their ANC function, and that can make a difference in not only the amount of hiss you can hear, but it can save you some battery life as well. Thankfully, this slight hiss does not really affect sound quality, which is our next topic to discuss. Again, I was doing long listening tests with all the earbuds using different phones, notebooks and tablets, but what I did not do is any scientific measurements. You won't be hearing any sound samples either, as I don't think that can paint a proper picture of how the earbuds actually sound. So all you've got to go with is my personal opinion for whatever it is worth, so here we go. There are many details I'm not 100% sure about when it comes to ranking these buds, because simply most of them are that good, but the AirPods Pro definitely takes last place here. I'm not saying that they sound bad, but the lack of bass makes them sound a bit thin for my taste. Clarity and details are great, but the highs can become overwhelming if you push them hard. And even though I barely ever push the volume all the way up, I know a lot of you who loves their earbuds loud, so keep that in mind. Sound staging and separation is only average with the Apple Buds too. Next is the Jabra Elite 85T. The sound of the 85T is a huge leap forward from the 75T, but is still not sophisticated enough to compete with the best. You get plenty bass with loads of energy, but it doesn't try to overpower the mid-range as it used to, and you get a decent amount of detail and life in the vocals as a result. The highs are smooth with no hard edges, but there is nothing special in terms of detail or air. Soundstage could be wider too. and as we step up in the rankings, it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference between each bud. Someone will like the calm, precise and mature sound of the Sennheiser, while others will prefer the exciting, airy and three-dimensional presentation of the Bose, and I cannot seem to find too much to fault with the sound of the Sony either. So it all comes down to nuances and personal preference. The Sony has this neutral and open sound with more than enough of low-frequency energy and kick, expressive vocals and plenty details in the highs. The Bose have the upper hand in sound staging, instrument separation and spark, and it makes them the best choice if you want to get energized by the music you listen to. The Sennheiser buds can win you over with their refined, pleasant and balanced, yet a bit warm frequency response. You get a great deal of bass and there is something very natural about their sound. They are a bit slower and calmer sounding than the other two, so maybe these earbuds are the best for long-term music listening, especially if you want to relax and enjoy the music itself. And now let's see if there is any conclusion I can come to after all this. The only area where I can easily pick a favorite without any doubt or having second thoughts is the design. The Sennheiser Momentum 2s are the most elegant looking buds in the most stylish case, and their fit and comfort is first class too. The Jabra Elite 85Ts are very similar to the Sennheisers in their general look, but they lack a bit of its refinement. The Sonys and the Bose earbuds are simply too big to be comfortable in the long run, and I was never really a big fan of the stems on the AirPods Pro, but I have to admit that they are very comfortable and lightweight, and the stem controls make them easy to use without having to push the earbuds into your ear canals every time you touch the buttons. And since we touched on touch controls, that works best on the Sennheiser buds, but not so much on the Bose, especially if you take their crippled functionality into account. The Jabra delivers the best options for personalizing the earbuds, and their software is the most packed with features in general too. Whether you prefer the physical buttons on the Jabra or the touch controls on the Sennheiser is up to personal preference. Battery life is best on the Sony and the Sennheiser, followed closely by the Jabra, with the AirPods Pro and the Bose being the worst. As far as connection goes, there is the Sennheiser as the only one with the aptX codec on board, and there is the Jabra as the only one with multi-point use. Of course, the AirPods Pros will work best with other Apple devices, and nothing can beat that comfort and synergy, to be honest. It just works. But if you are an Android user, and if you want better sound and better noise cancelling, you might want to look elsewhere. The Sonys sound great, their noise cancelling is still one of the best, but their design might not be the most comfortable for everyone, and the controls are a bit limited too, but their battery life is very good. The Bose have the best noise cancelling and one of the best sound, but these buds are a letdown in terms of controls, battery life, customization and comfort. The Jabra has the best overall software and control experience as long as you like the physical buttons. Their noise cancelling and their battery life are very good too, but their sound, even though it has improved a lot, can easily be bettered by the competition. As I said it before, the Sennheiser Momentum 2 has the best design, the best touch controls, one of the best customization options, one of the best sound, and also one of the best battery life. If only the noise cancelling was a bit better, I could easily announce them as winners of this test, but since it's not the case, I will have to leave you without such definite conclusion. At the end of the day, it's all my personal opinion only anyway, and you are better off doing a more thorough research based on your own preferences, and only then make a decision on which earbuds suit your needs the best. And with that, it's time to conclude my active noise cancelling earbuds showdown. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel would be much appreciated too. Thanks for watching, see you next time.